Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur, Darkchylde, and welcome back to part 2 of today's episode of Let's Replay Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Last time in part 1, we did all of the events that happened 7 years ago for what Phoenix Wright has been up to in his little investigation during this case. So we're pretty much halfway done with this. Unfortunately, in part 1, I was taking a little too long, so I had to cut this episode into 2 parts. So now, today we'll be going through all of the present-day events in the events of 2006-26. So, which of these present-day events are we starting with first? Why, Drew's studio, of course.
Eh? Well, what do we have here?
Remember me?
Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar. End quote.
Can I ask you what you're doing here? Mr. Misham was poisoned, and his daughters...
Oh, yes, I know. Yes. It caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he tracked down cause just a little quicker. End quote.
You were on the trail of this case the whole time?
Zach Grammari was a good friend.
Zach said something to that effect back at the Brush Bowl Club.
What a character, that man. What a man. If a little, no, a lot, no, extremely rough around the edges.
Do you think I could ask you a few questions?
Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the viewer, not the interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not the other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of questions lately.
It was a tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter.
Forgery is a serious crime, and they paid the price. You know what they really did? You know what really did them in, though, don't you?
Yes. They forged a diary page.
The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known.
What's that?
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years, walls have ears, her potatoes have eyes, end quote.
Being watched? You mean he felt guilty?
No, I'm not talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on the case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote.
Because you felt guilty?
Why would I feel guilty?
You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. Drew Misham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves?
Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Grammar got rubbed out after 7 years ago? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not a soul. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made.
And then he died.
Starting to put the pieces together, are we?
And you were being watched the whole time?
Maybe not just me, maybe you were too.
Me?
I met Zach through that case, actually.
You mean that shooting of Magnifi Grammari?
No, before that.
Yeah.
It was not widely known.
You mean the accident during the quick draw shoot-'em practice?
My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy, all for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now.
Velen Grammari did mention one particular nosy reporter.
In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifi Grammari at the time. I knew his daughter, too, of course. Thalessa, was it?
Really?
Then Thalessa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifi wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy, end quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalessa's husband, see?
Zach Grammari.
Something strange was in the air over that trope Grammari in those days. The whole screwy mentor controlling disciple seemed started by then, I'm guessing. Thalessa was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me off the record.
Sorry, I don't know.
Anyway, I kept prying, and eventually became friends with Zach. He sure punched me once or twice, or 5 times. But over time, he came to see me as his confidant. He's been waiting this whole time. 7 years, eh?
Waiting?
For his big comeback, of course. The big reveal of the Magnifi miracle, of course. Cause it was all a dream.
Because of this? The performance rights?
In the absence of the official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Velen?
So Velen waited until Zach died legally at last.
The time finally comes and Velen's like a kid on Christmas morning.
He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know.
If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that fella in Grammar. Let out to his partner at work, and in love, too.
Love?
It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter. What have 3 sides and all of them empty? Pointy. The love triangle.
That's pretty classic.
When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and a backstabbing.
And in the middle of all this, Thalessa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalessa. Mr. Brushel, do you know this person?
Do I know this person? Of course! I was friends with Zach, after all. He hits me a few times. 5 times, actually. But still, I never forget his wife.
Thalessa Grammari. Magnifi Grammari's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her?
Well, why the heck not? So, Thalessa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her 2nd marriage, actually.
You mean she was divorced? I haven't heard this one before.
Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. He died in an accident on stage. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year.
I didn't know.
But she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know?
That's kind of creepy, dude.
You know, Trucy, I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She's got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all.
What do you mean?
Just reminiscing, you know. Thalessa has another child besides Trucy, end quote. What?
But Trucy said she was an only child.
Yes. This one she had with her previous husband.
Her previous husband? Her first husband who died on stage?
Yep. They had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now.
Thalessa had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo?
Sure, I can be generous on occasions, you know.
And I don't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget.
People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think?
I was too busy wondering about bigger than listening to what you were saying.
Sometimes you just gotta accept hit that you won't be able to untangle at all, I think.
Maybe so, but still, I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next.
Next, you say?
I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore.
Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this.
What do you mean?
Haven't you seen it on Trucy? She's got his power.
You mean how I can't lie to Trucy?
It was the same with Magnifi. With his daughter, and with his daughter, Thalessa.
It's a strange thing. You think it's some Grammari gene?
Magnifi told me once, back when Zack married Thalessa. He said Zack had good eyes, but not good like a Grammari's eyes. Not that good.
I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. You know what the Grammari's secret is?
Maybe nobody, now that Zack's gone.
Zack Grammari. The plot had finally begun to unravel itself. It sprouted from a wrap in the Grammari fabric and grew, swallowing everything. Wrapping itself around the Grammari's power. A power which passed from Magnifi Grammari to Thalessa to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Back to the Bridge Ball Club. Remember in the last episode we couldn't break those Cyclocks? Well, now's our chance. I have to know more about this power of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you? Gotta use the resources at hand, I always say. Yet, myself has no such power. But Trucy does. Why's that? Maybe Trucy's got her power from her mother? Thalessa Grammari? I will not speak of that. Thalessa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. The three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame. One that not many know. Thalessa lost her life during a rehearsal. To you and Velen Grammarai's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How could I shoot my dear Thalessa? I'm sure Velen would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you! Her eyes. I love Thalessa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead and Magnifi Grammarai has joined her. So the only one with her power left now is Trucy? Mr. Zack, I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else. Someone other than Trucy. Someone who has inherited Thalessa's power. How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone with the power. I know who.
Take that!
This boy? His name is... I forget. Something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what are we to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? Can you show me pictures of strange boys like all you like? But you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. Hey, I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalessa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link.
Take that!
Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalessa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Grammarais as a guest in our show. After Thalessa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help but notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They are a Grammarai family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in this picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalessa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy, her son. This strange power, I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact that it is passed down in the Grammari line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, the Lessa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to the tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it? Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait, were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit, the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in the response of body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What if I told you? The Grammari power reacts to tension in others. When a Grammari senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute, they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when a person and they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletics can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, But it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The fine switch of the face, and the meaning of that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of the crowd before one may distract it. So basically, what you're saying is, the Grammarites can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exponential focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me, too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? Or something. Precisely! But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You are talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. Well, I hardly need you to tell me about this at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother too has this power of theirs. So Trucy has an older brother. I wonder what will become of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt once again. No kidding. What I want to know is, all this got to be so messed up. That is all I know of things Grammari. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnifi Grammari, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test? In his last years, Magnifi Grammari worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I could not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You are my mentor.
Bah! I thought you might say that.
If I went home tonight without shooting anything, what would you have done then?
Then, of course, I would have given Velon his chance.
And if I had shot you in the forehead instead?
Then it would be over.
If you or Velon were to shoot me in the head,
then I go to the darkness.
Then to the darkness I would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet this ending too gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be his successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valence. Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valant up to these days? Waiting for you to die? If 7 years passes like this, the performance rights go to him. And now here I am, and this dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion is fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they've put the blame him for our mentor's death on him? They ended the trial when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valant had helped you pull it off. But that's madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead? That night, Zack Gramorai was killed. Pardon me. He died as Shoddy Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he's killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Velen Gramorai. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valant. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press. I have nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself, and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. We have walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire? Do not be deceived. Villain skills is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it is my partner who slowed me on my way. Zach Grammari. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zach Grammari murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it if there was yesterday. Yet, that was not the way of it in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zach had vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpipes of the press said. I had no idea. Yet, that very same press comes to me now, feigning ignorant interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were the validation destruction. And here must I stand, smiling at them all. What am I, if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magnifi's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here, to get the answer from you. I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I've heard 7 years ago. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years I have endured. Now, finally, the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of our troupe within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valen, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valen, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this.
Take that!
And what might that be? I see it bears the Grammari seal. It should have brought this I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifi's miracles. What? Zach Grammari? He wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Trucy Enigmar. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous! Zach is gone! Vanished into the void! This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. What? Why? Why does fate toy with me so? Why must I live why must my life be lived in thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnifi. Yes, it was Zach. It was. And then he left. And my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say, if you could prove Zach Grammari shot Magnifi? Was that why you testified? Yes, it's my way out. Oh, it should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valen. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Zach Grammari? I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zach Grammari wrote one more thing before passing on. But this is a confession! In which he admits to the killing of Magnifi Grammari. See, all according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet, it seems the table have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the documents I have brought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me. After I explained your situation to him. Alika's no! Do you know what this confession is? Nothing but lies? Yes, it's my opinion that Zach killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. 2 received instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A stirring tale, 'tis true. Did you shoot Magnifi Grammari in the forehead? If I had, and I told you, what would you do? Run to the police perchance? Do as you will. There is nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have a little talent. I needed my mentor's Magnifi's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valen Grammari did die, he the great magician. So sorry, Mr. Wright. But it's not But it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple? Such as? I don't know. Knack and Alan Grammari, maybe? Your wild fantasy couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zack and Verland had received those threatening letters. But there was another. One more person that could have fired the pistol that night. I don't suppose you figured it out by now? If it wasn't Zack or Valant who shot Magnifi, then it had to be the only other person at the scene of... Which means... Wait. You don't mean... Yes. The great Magnifi Grammari himself. He committed suicide. Holy sh... So Magnifi Grammari committed suicide? You find it hard to believe? To be honest, I haven't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived at that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him. When I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnifi Grammari? Yes. This is why I knew what he had done. Magnifi transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zack Grammari, not me. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valant Grammari confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. That was when I understood Magnifi's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands? Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon? Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnifi, and I planned on framing my partner for the crime. Well, what? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnifi's hospital room. Which was... IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it on an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then, I would use the IV liquid to place the murder on his hands. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came, but then Magnifi called me back. I am sorry, Valant. I'm giving my magic to Zack, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Please, help him if you can. I left the room. And then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnifi killing himself? Then the demon awoke anew in me. Zack killed him. He was the one. Frame him, and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of this suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used the syringe to add the IV liquid I brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnifi died, and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but... Yes? I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valent. Thank you. It was I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. For Zack Grammari was alive. Well, not anymore. And now it occurs to me. What if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? Do you see now all that I think about it? I realize that I know. We never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races to the mouth flap, and the mouth flaps on. My apologies, forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner, Zack Grammari. Then I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I am glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. Zack Grammari, Shoddy Smith, whichever name you prefer, he is no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver, and the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I'd have to do to push back the darkness for good. And it would involve paying that man a visit. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please, wait here a moment. My apologies to the guard. But there's something I need to see. This is illegal, but we gotta do this. There it is. The yellow envelope. And the sender is Drew Misham. I was right.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the scene of crime.
If this is the last letter that Drew Misham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here goes. Let's see if the Darkchylde spray finds anything. So this was Drew Misham's messenger of death. It was this stamp, alright, no mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. Gotcha. The interview request came, like you said it would, and you're looking into the case. They're looking into the case. I swear on my life I won't tell them about you, so please, release the spell you put on my daughter. I'll write later her with a report. Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar? In jail? Gavin! I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Misham hasn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? There's no known survivors to Darkchylde poisoning. But it never hurts to hope. Okay, I'll be leaving now then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin. Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry. Forgot I had it. Many thanks.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now it is time. Every story has an ending. And we've come to the final chapter, the final trial. Find the truth. You're the only ones who can. To be continued. I thank you all for joining me to the end of this episode of Let's Replay Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. When we come back, we will be doing the finale of this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this and would love to see more, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want. Ring that bell to be notified when our next video comes out. All this helps my channel to grow so you have more videos to enjoy. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturday and Sundays. Till the next video, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks.